Hey coaches, this is the next installment in my Power Hour tutorial, and in this episode I'm going to talk to you about how I add new Facebook friends and how I keep track of them so that I can begin to engage with them. Okay, so first things first, I add people to my Facebook constantly, right? I constantly am sending people new friend requests. And in this video, I'm not going to go through how I figure out who to add, but rather once you've added somebody and they've accepted your friend request, how do you make sure to track them in a way that then you can easily remember who you've become friends with recently and begin to engage with them so that you can, again, move them through the funnel and get to a point where you can really become friends with them and invite them to something. Okay, so this is my daily routine as far as checking off the I added 3 to 5 people today in my tracker, right? So this is really more about tracking. We'll do a different video on how to find people. Okay, so scenario. All throughout the day, I'm sending friend requests probably from my phone, like when I'm standing in the grocery store line or waiting for my car, whatever. I'm just constantly sending friend requests. So usually each day, I will wake up to some number of new accepted friend requests. This is what I do when I sit down at my laptop to add people into my network officially. Okay, so what I do is I come to my Facebook page, I go to view activity log. Okay, this is a really cool feature of Facebook. You can see basically everything you do. I come over here to the left and I click on find the area with these items and I click on more. I scroll up to friends. This is a day by day for all the years you've been on Facebook list of people that you have sent friend requests to, as an example, and people that you have become friends with. Okay, so this is like the running history of who you've sent a request to and who you've actually become a friend with. So what I do when I log in here is at the, either at the beginning or the end of each day, depending on how I'm structuring my power hour that day, I will come to here and I'll go, okay, who all did I become friends with? Let's just take Mark as an example. I hover over his name, hold down Command, and click his name so it opens his profile in a separate window. I go to his profile and great, here he is. And I wait for Facebook to reload. The very, very, very first thing I do for every new friend that I make is I categorize them into a friends list on Facebook. And the reason I do this will be explained in a future video around strategically connecting with your new friends. But just for now, suffice to say that this is something that I learned from Desiree Hall and it's been amazing. So you hover over friends, click on add to new list, and then I scroll all the way down and I add him to the current month, which right now happens to be September 2016. I click that. If you didn't already have all these lists set up, you can watch Desiree's call, or literally you just scroll to the bottom and click on new list and type in the new list name. Okay. I just structure mine this way so that I know what year, what month I became friends with this person. Again, we'll go through that later. But so I add him to this list. Done. Next, I look at his profile, right? A lot of these people that I'm becoming friends with now are people that are random. Either they friended me or I friended them because they looked interesting, but I don't really know them at all. Okay, so I just do a quick cursor of his profile and I mentally note down a couple things. He is a realtor, lives in Florida. Down here, this is something that I monitor with my friends, which is their friends list public to me or private? So in this case, his list is public. If you notice a private list, it's just going to say you have 210 mutual friends. You won't be able to see the total number of friends that this person has. Okay, so I mentally note down those things. Realtor, lives in Atlantic Beach, Florida. Friends list is visible to me. Okay, next thing I do is I come up here and I copy his Facebook link. And I go over here to Teamsy. and I click on Add Contact. He's a prospect because he's not a customer yet, and I type in his name, Mark Pradeu. Pradeu. Oh my God. All right, and then I click Add. All right, so now he's in my Teamsy as a new contact, but he's not categorized in here in any way, so it would be difficult for me to figure out how to find him again if I needed to know, like, hey, who are all the people that I just recently became friends with? So that's where Teamsy is amazing, and you can tag people with certain attributes, like we are friends on Facebook. I tag that because sometimes I will end up messaging people who respond to my ads or something like that, and we're not actually friends yet. So I want, I prioritize people that I'm friends with over people that I'm not friends with when it comes down to invites. All right, so I do Facebook. I put in here what friends list I added into, right? Again, these tags are all used to be able to filter lists. So the more things you tag somebody with, the more granular you'll be able to filter your lists. And then I type in where I met this person. So this person came from a random. He randomly added me. There again, like if I found this person through a mutual friend or a referral, or you can see some of these, right? Cold market, from one of my event invites, Instagram, whatever. I've got tons and tons of tags. Oops. Okay, and then remember I noted down whether or not their friends list was visible to me or not. This has been key for me in adding new friends. So if I become friends with Mark and he's a cool dude, I can assume that he's also friends with other cool people that I might want to be friends with. So if somebody has their Facebook friends list visible to me, then I can actually go to their friends list at some point in the future, once I get to know him better, open it up, and see, hey, obviously we have mutual friends of some degree, but I'm like, hey, is there anybody else on this list? Let's get past all the ones that we're already friends with. Is there anybody else on this list that, oh my Lord, we're friends with the same people? A lot of them. Hang on, we'll get down here. Are there any other people that he's friends with that I'm not friends with who seem like cool people that might be somebody I'd like to get to know? And if so, then, you can see, okay, well, like, let's just say as an example, Alyssa, we have 5 mutual friends. I might send her a friend request, right? And I can expand my network that way by reaching out through my new friends, what I call center of excellence. So I say, if this person's friends list is visible to me, then at some point in the future, as one of my weekly tasks, I'm going to go to their profile and I'm going to mine their center of excellence. Okay. I like to note down what someone's job is. So like this guy was a realtor. Job, realtor. Why? Because if you're going to do an ad or you're going to do a specific post, you want to target it to who you're speaking to. So like if I wanted to make a post that was relevant to all of my realtors about like how to stay on track with your nutrition when you're running around town all the time, or you're working long hours with your contracts or whatever, I might want to make something that's applicable to realtors, and this gives me a way to quickly find who all I have in my network who's a realtor. I just started doing this. I started doing age. So I kind of look at the person, or I go to their About tab and see if their birthday is listed, which it's not. But I kind of then estimate, he looks like he's in his 40s. Age, 40s. Okay, the reason I do that is the same thing, just like with the job, right? I want to be able to target my invites or maybe even my events to people of certain age groups. So like I actually end up working with a lot of people who are in their 50s and above. And honestly, their needs for a nutrition shake or for a workout are pretty highly different than the people I work with who are in their 20s. It's targeted marketing. This is all this is. All right, next thing I do is I write down what I need to invite them to. So since he's a brand new friend, this is always the same 3 things. So I need to invite him to my Shakeology challenge. I always invite my brand new friends to that. At some point I need to invite him to my challenge group. and I need to invite him to coaching. So I will remove this tag once I have actually invited him to something, regardless of whether he's said yes or no. It just gives me kind of a stage in the process of like, okay, well, I've already invited him to the shake thing and he did that. The next logical step is to invite him to the challenge group. All right. I like to note down again, this should have been up here, but like where people are so that, again, if I'm doing targeted marketing, I know where they are. Okay. And that is it. The only one I started adding lately was a reminder to add value in the month that I add them as friends. Okay, so that means like in a different video that talks about how you use those Facebook friends lists, you can check that one out. This reminds me that I want to strategically add value to this person because we just became friends, and I want to establish a strong relationship from the beginning instead of just adding them to my list and never talking to them. Okay, so now Mark has been added to my Facebook list. He's officially been in here and he's categorized. And I think I forgot to say this earlier, but I always paste in their Facebook link so that if somebody changes their name or whatever, I don't have to figure out which Mark it is. That usually happens more with women that get married. I don't have to go back and figure out who was this person that I added to my Teamsy. Okay, so that's number one. I add people in. So now he counts. Let's just go over here and look at this. Now he counts as somebody that I added to my network today, which is cool. Okay, so one last thing I do before I leave him alone for now is I actually go and I connect with him. So again, you saw this in prior videos. I open up my scripts folder on our Google Drive. And if you're a coach on our team, you have access to this under My Drive, Team Core Conviction, and Scripts. Hopefully it loads. And we do exactly like we did in the other video. Scroll all the way to the bottom, open up the script for prospects, the initial message that you would connect with them with, and use the appropriate script. In this case, this is a Jacksonville person. So I'm going to copy this script. Go back to his page, message. Wow, my PC is going slow. I'm going to say, hey, Mark. Thanks for connecting here on Facebook. I always enjoy meeting other Jax friends. You seem like good people. Just wanted to drop in and say hi. I hope you have a great weekend. Cheers. Okay. And enter. Close. Close. Come over here to Teamsy, paste that in so that I know what I sent him. Facebook message. I just leave the follow-up date as a default because like he hasn't responded to me at all yet, obviously, and I log that connect. Now I'm done with Mark. I go back to my dashboard and you can see I've added one person to my network and I've connected with another person today. So this is how I use up my power of 3 totals. I add people, I connect with them, etc., etc. So this video is way longer than I intended it to be, but that is how I add people to my network and meet my daily requirement to add 3 to 5 new people. Is I just send friend requests to people on Facebook all day long from my mobile phone, and as they accept my invites at one distinct time each day, right? I do all this in batch. I will come in here to this view and I will add, right, for that day. Okay, hopefully this makes sense and is helpful. If you have questions, please comment those below and I'll get them answered. Thanks, y'all.